Let's talk about colonialism in Africa. It's a story that spans centuries and has left an indelible mark on the continent. Europe came in, redrew the map, and called it civilizing. They divided territories without regard for the people living there, creating borders that still cause conflicts today. They took resources, exploited the land, and left a lasting impact. From gold and diamonds to rubber and oil, the wealth of Africa was siphoned off to fuel European economies. We're talking centuries of control, shaping everything from borders to economies. Colonial powers imposed their systems, their languages, and their ways of life on African societies. This history, my friends, is key to understanding African football today. The sport, like many other aspects of African life, was influenced by colonial rule. See, those colonial ties didn't just disappear. They left behind a complex legacy that continues to shape the continent. They evolved, they morphed. African footballers began to make their mark on the global stage, transitioning from local leagues to European leagues. And they're still influencing the beautiful game. African players bring unique skills and styles that enrich the sport worldwide. Think about it. Language, culture, even legal systems were influenced by Europe. These elements make it easier for African players to adapt and thrive in European leagues. This makes it easier for African players to navigate European societies. They can communicate, understand the rules, and fit into the cultural fabric more seamlessly. It's a bittersweet legacy, but one that plays a huge role in where African footballers end up. Their journeys are a testament to resilience and the enduring impact of history. Now, where did African football even come from? You guessed it. Colonialism played a big part. European sailors, soldiers, and settlers brought their love of the game to African shores. Soon, local populations were kicking the ball around. African players brought their own flair, their own rhythm, their own style. It was the birth of something beautiful, something uniquely African. But here's the thing, colonial powers often favored certain teams over others. This created imbalances that still linger today. It's like giving one kid a head start in a race and then acting surprised when they win. Fast forward to today and we see a clear pattern. African players often end up playing in the former colonial powers league. Think about it. Senegalese players in France, Nigerian players in England. It's not a coincidence. These historical ties created pathways, making it easier for players to make the move. Visas, language, cultural familiarity, it all plays a role. It's like a well-worn path through the jungle. It might not be the only way, but it's the easiest one to follow. Let's be real, money talks, and European leagues, they've got a lot of it. We're talking big contracts, endorsements, the whole 9 yards. For African players, especially those from humble beginnings, the financial incentive is huge. They can support their families, build homes, and invest in their future. It's life-changing money. Then there's the prestige. Playing in the English Premier League or La Liga, that's the dream. It's the global stage, the chance to shine against the best in the world. Who wouldn't want a piece of that? Section 5, a showcase of talent African stars lighting up European leagues, and shine they do. African players have become integral to European football. Drogba, Eto'o, Salah, Mainu, these names are legendary. They bring skill, athleticism, and a passion for the game that's infectious. They're not just playing, they're dominating, winning titles, breaking records, and inspiring a new generation of players. It's a beautiful thing to see. These players are ambassadors for the continent, showcasing African talent on the world stage. They're proving that Africa is a force to be reckoned with in the world of football. Section 6, Beyond the Pitch. The challenges of racism and discrimination, but let's not sugarcoat it. It's not all rosy for African players in Europe. Racism rears its ugly head far too often. Monkey chants, racist abuse from fans, even discrimination from within the sport itself. It's a reality these players face. Imagine being at the top of your game, scoring goals, entertaining millions, and still being subjected to this kind of hate. It's unacceptable. It's a reminder that while football might be a universal language, the fight for equality is far from over. Section 7, Cultural Crossroads, adapting to life in a new world. And then there's the challenge of adapting to a new culture, a new language, a new way of life. For many African football players, this journey begins with learning the local language, which is often a daunting task. They spend countless hours with language tutors, practicing and perfecting their skills to communicate effectively both on and off the field. Adapting to local customs is another significant hurdle. From understanding social norms to participating in community events, these players immerse themselves in their new surroundings. They attend local festivals, learn about the history and traditions of their new home, and gradually become a part of the community. It's tough being away from family, friends, and everything familiar. The distance can be emotionally challenging, and many players rely on technology to stay connected with their loved ones. Video calls, social media, and messaging apps become lifelines, helping them maintain a sense of connection and support. Imagine moving to a new country where the food is different, the customs are different, even the humor is different. Trying new cuisines can be an adventure in itself, as players explore local dishes and develop new tastes. Attending cultural events and celebrations helps them understand and appreciate the diversity of their new environment. Even the humor is different. Finding common ground with teammates and locals through shared laughter and experiences is crucial. It helps build camaraderie and eases the transition into a new social setting. It takes a strong individual to not only survive but thrive in that environment. The dedication and hard work these players put into their training and matches are commendable. They push themselves to excel, often overcoming significant obstacles to achieve success in European leagues. But African players are resilient. They face challenges head-on, drawing strength from their experiences and backgrounds. Their resilience is evident in their performances on the field, where they consistently demonstrate determination and perseverance. They adapt, they learn, they grow. Celebrating wins and receiving awards in Europe is a testament to their hard work and adaptability. These moments of triumph are not just personal victories, but also symbols of their successful integration into a new world. They form bonds with teammates, embrace new cultures, and become part of the fabric of their adopted countries. These relationships and cultural exchanges enrich their lives and contribute to their overall growth as individuals and athletes. Engaging with local fans and participating in community events further solidifies their place in their new homes. They become role models and ambassadors, bridging cultural gaps and fostering mutual respect and understanding. Through their journey, they not only adapt to life in a new world, but also leave a lasting impact on the communities they become a part of. Section 8. The brain drain dilemma, Africa's footballing exodus. But here's the thing, when all the best African players leave for Europe, what happens to African football? It's a double-edged sword. On one hand, it's amazing to see these players succeed at the highest level, but on the other hand, it's a loss for African leagues, African fans, and the development of the sport on the continent. It's like a school losing its best students. It impacts the overall quality and makes it harder to compete on a global scale. It's a complex issue with no easy solutions. Section 9. Investing in the motherland, African players giving back. But it's not all doom and gloom. Many African players are using their success to give back to the continent. They're building academies, funding youth programs, and using their platforms to inspire the next generation. They're creating opportunities for young players back home, opportunities they themselves didn't have. It's about using their success to uplift others and break the cycle. These players understand that investing in African football is investing in the future of the continent. They're not just footballers, they're role models, philanthropists, and agents of change. Section 10, A Brighter Future, Building Capacity and Nurturing Homegrown Talent. So, what's the solution? It's multifaceted. African football needs investment, infrastructure, and good governance. It needs to create an environment where players can thrive at home. Imagine if African leagues were as competitive and lucrative as European ones. We'd see more players staying, more fans engaged, and a brighter future for African football as a whole. It's about leveling the playing field. It's a long road ahead, but there's hope. With the right investment and commitment, African football can reach its full potential. Section 11. Conclusion. A complex legacy with glimmers of hope. The impact of European colonialism on African football is undeniable. From the early days when the sport was introduced by colonial powers, it has shaped the way football is played and perceived on the continent. It's a complex legacy filled with both challenges and opportunities. The history is marred with exploitation and inequality, yet it has also paved the way for African talent to shine on the global stage. We see it in the migration patterns, the power imbalances, and the experiences of African players abroad. Many young talents leave their homes in search of better opportunities, often facing cultural and racial challenges in foreign lands. These players often become symbols of hope and pride for their home countries, despite the hardships they endure. Their journeys are a testament to their determination and skill, but we also see it in the talent, the resilience, and the desire to give back. Many African players return to their roots, investing in local communities and nurturing the next generation of footballers. They engage in community work, mentor young talents, and strive to create opportunities that they themselves may not have had. This cycle of giving back is crucial for the development of football in Africa. African football is at a crossroads. The passion for the game is undeniable and the potential is immense. Local leagues are growing and the fan base is as enthusiastic as ever. It can continue to lose its best to Europe, where the infrastructure and financial rewards are greater, or it can invest in itself and create a brighter future for the beautiful game on the continent. The choice is ours. By building better facilities, providing more support for young players and fostering a strong domestic league, Africa can retain its talent and elevate its football to new heights. The future of African football holds glimmers of hope, and with the right investments and dedication, it can truly shine.